Hey guys, this is Waifu Wars, and today we're going to be talking about the recent ban list. And I have with me Frank, Enrique, Jenna, and a new member, Terry. And we'll just introduce ourselves. I'm Beanley, and I play Slut for an Alpha for JP. And also, I'm recently single, so if you're a gay white male, hit me up.
Oh my god, man, shut up. We don't need this.
I guess I'll do my introduction. So I'm Frank Aaron Value Pagan because Aaron Levi for the win with AOT. So yeah, I'm basically predominantly a AOT player, and I also play SAO. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow, what a guy.
Hey, I'm Terry.
Oh.
I've been primarily playing Railgun for a while, but I've also played Monogatari as well, so those are my two mains.
I'm Enrique, and I play Guilty Crown. Nothing more else to it.
I'm Jenna, and I play Osamatsu, aka Please Don't Tease Me, I'm Not a Fujoshi.
What a loser.
To give a quick background to everyone that's listening to this, we're actually all in Florida, and so this is just based
Except for me. Was in Florida.
Oh, so this is based off like our local area perspective, I guess you could say. Well, some of us are in different towns, but yeah. So we'll just get started then. We're going to Misakura in Lahar. Misakura used to be a 2 of, I believe, and now she's back to 4. Well, both of them are back to 4, and so is Lahar, which was only, I think he was limited to 1. I think, and then he's back to 4.
Yeah, he's been offered a place on the ban list because he originally went to 2 in the 2012 ban list, and then the 2013 ban list they were still topping, along with Rewrite, and so they had to hit him again, and so they went down to 1 along with all their advantage combos, and that's where it was up until now.
I think reason why they did this, of course, is because everyone was like saying these cards just aren't as like powerful as they were in the past, so like why are we restricting them, which I agree.
Yeah. What does the Misokura card do? Sorry, I don't know that one.
Okay,
I know
so basically it heals on play, and then when it attacks, you can pay 1, discard 1. It gains 2,000 power, and if it reverses the character it's battling by battle, it'll burn the opponent for 1. So, at the time when it came out, it was actually really strong and the only finisher at the game, and also it was through a change combo, so it could be early dropped. And then the only thing I could really mess around with it was, I guess if you played like Louise, if you played what was that deck? I can't remember anymore, but some old deck they don't play anymore. But Zero no Sakaiba, that's what it was. Yeah, that was like the only competition to that. But yeah, and then it's been on the ban list for 5 years to the day now at 2.
Wow.
It was been on the longest card on the ban list among anything except for like a few cards.
I mean, it seems like a good card, but I feel like nowadays like early drops would just like outplay it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like the change gets blown out by anti-change, and that's been true for probably the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, having played with it, Railgun got really power crap by the time Nisekoi came out, Kante came out, and everything else it got so much better. I mean, before that's one thing. It was still really strong, but I mean, I'd say at least up to since like a year ago, it should have been up to 4 already, though, because, I mean, it was just kind of funny. You saw the original Marika running around at 4, and then yet that card was still at 2, and I'm like, okay, there's a huge difference in power level here.
Oh, yeah.
And there's plenty of other finishers which are just simply better at this point. I mean, heck, you can look at the Akatsuki from Log Horizon. That's just better.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I think on it, having played with it since the second set.
Now, with Index and Railgun, like I know they had a comeback campaign, right? And that really helped them.
It really actually didn't help the railgun side. It was more
It's just
made Index playable because Index was
Yeah.
completely trash for the
You
blue
never
side.
touched that set. Yeah, you
Yeah, it
never
was
touched
like-
that set.
Really, really minimal stuff. I mean, the best they had was some level 1 trial deck card, and that was like, oh well, it gains 1,000 during your turn, and it was the strongest thing they had.
Oh,
It
is
was terrible.
is Railgun mixable with Index?
Yeah, it is mixable. The only thing is they have different traits.
Oh.
Blue is generally Index, and yellow is as well. It kind of depends, but most of blue is going to be magic, and everything else is going to be Esper or some other trait, and they don't mix very well. Like the Railgun deck is like 90% Railgun, 10% Index, and Index is 90% Index, 10% Railgun.
Okay,
So
I see.
they mix kind of, but it's a few cards.
All right, I didn't know much about the show or the series or anything, so I wasn't sure.
Isn't there like
Right.
a global level assist or whatever in Railgun? Like it's a yellow card.
Yeah, there was one in green. It was a multi-skill Kiyama.
I can't see
Level
that
2 cost 1. It was from the first set, I think. First or second set. I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head. I think it was the second set, though. But it was in green, and it was a global level booster, and it was 6,500 base. And it had a climax combo with a gold bag where you can, if it's played, you can stock some. So, I mean, the stock slow kind of sucked, or the gold bag sucked, but you ran it just for the global boost. But, I mean, that used to be on the ban list for the longest time, but, you know, the whole red-green build really fell out of favor, I think, beginning of 2015. Mostly just power creep and damage output. Because, I mean, they have a really good level 1 game where everything's kind of cost 0 and they can make it really big, but they don't have any soul triggers. And their end game is just going to be healers. And that really doesn't help you too much. Not anymore, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, 4K backup, but, I mean, in the greater scheme of things, that still doesn't change all the problems of the deck. Hand issue, a stock issue, and no finishers. So ultimately, they stopped playing that global booster, I think, when Railgun S came out, because they were just better boosters overall.
And I think in Index, isn't there like a unique backup? Like, oh, it's like Dragon Striker or whatever. I think some people run that in their builds.
Yeah, I like running it. I think it's pretty good because you can play it, and it gives a character 2,000 power and plus 2 levels. And really, it's the only kind of sat counter we have. Granted, it's free as well, which is amazing. So it's like one of the few defensive cards you have against anything that does an on-reverse effect, especially with like restanders and stuff. That's going to be all you have, or clock kickers.
Yeah.
Because power-wise, you're always going to lose. There's really no way for it to keep up power, because the cap is about 12k at most.
Yeah, I definitely like how it's costless though. Like
Yeah.
it's costless sat counter. Do you guys have anything to say about Disgaea? Not really. I feel like
No,
I think
mean,
my opinion on it is just like the card itself is really good, but Disgaea is so limited in what it has that it's like there's nothing really good it has to search for other than, or salvage, is besides healers. So I mean, all right, you have a heal loop, but it doesn't have an actual finisher. I mean, what was the O combo? The O combo was searching out this final weapon, Desco, and that's just like a healer that also has a penalty on it too. So I mean, all right, the power doesn't matter anymore, and you can get really blown out by a anti-heal or something.
Yeah.
And there's no way it really generates soul that well.
Well, Disgaea does have a lot of games, right? Maybe they'll get something, maybe not.
I feel like with these changes, like it was necessary, but then at the same time, it's like, is it gonna really make a difference? Like, is it gonna really impact the meta or whatever?
No.
I feel like it's just
No.
one of those past due things. Like, I mean, it just doesn't need to be on there anymore.
The only thing that really is worth notifying out of the ban list is probably CG.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just like, yeah, the game has Weiss Schwarz has like shifted so much from like the old, like how it used to be a game of like attrition or like who can out heal each other and stuff like that or whatever, I guess. And now it's just like changed to like, who can kill? Yeah, who can like kill each other?
Play healers in gates, and now you don't.
Maybe they should have like, I mean, this is like a weird thing, but maybe they should have like some sort of like year type block for each thing. I don't know.
You're talking about like
like year, like not like I don't know. It's too much hassle. Just like maybe they should have some sort of like year block where you can, so things don't power creep themselves. You can only play within certain blocks. But it sounds really stupid when I try to explain it. I just feel like too much hassle.
But I think that would probably push away a lot of players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, anyways,
no, this game's just a casual game, so they wouldn't probably support any like full-on competitive like rules like that.
Well, I mean, I think the only thing that might see relevance out of the unrestrictions, this guy won't be doing anything. I know that for a fact. But the Misakura, Japan has a thing for playing red-blue index. I don't know why. I mean, the blue-yellows I think is much better because you get more utility and defense over a few utility cards like a runner and Misakura. And they might play at 4, but that's probably the only change you might see. And Index is barely in the meta right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're at least like Bushiroad's listening to their player base for the Japanese player base, where like this should have been something that's long due. Because I feel like if they didn't like unrestrict these cards, I feel like a lot of people would still be upset.
Yeah,
I haven't been upset for the longest time. I've been playing under every single one of those ban lists, all those restrictions. But I mean, the Misakura at 4 does help me because that means I get to throw out 2 of these Academy City Mikotos, where they're a healer and their only other effect is on summon you pay 1, rest 2 espers, and you can send a level 0 to the waiting room. And it's like, that's so bad. And I can finally get rid of that trash, take it out, and then put those things in. That's so much better.
Anyways, we'll move on to probably one of the least expected things to happen for this year's restriction list is Monogatari was added onto the restriction list. We have the Shinobu and the snail.
It's not surprising, although it is kind of. I mean, it's.
I don't know. I'm not entirely surprised on it. I mean,
no, I'm not entirely surprised out of it because I mean, considering how Japan plays that set, it's they do kind of abuse the cards.
Well, it's one of the most played sets in JP, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the second most played
it's like the
set.
second most played set behind CG.
Yeah, so it's like they hit both those. So I mean, I think that this isn't like I think this was a prop. Like I think the choice is fine of the cards you have to pick between and everything. I mean, I know I ran both these cards in my deck, but I don't know which one would be more favorable. I didn't really have enough experience with the deck.
It depends on what build you're trying to run, because like I don't play the type of build that people in Japan play, because I prefer running the Hatagi that burns with the climax combo.
Yeah, that's what I was
so for me, I run the Kaiki instead. And to me, if you run the Kaiki and you run the Brainstormer, you're not going to have enough room in the back row to put that in its place. And I guess you could always put it in the front row too, but I kind of felt like it's either that or the Kaiki. You don't want to play both. And that made more sense in the build that Japan plays, because they play a very defensive build. And so the whole idea is like, all right, you use this middle school student Shinobu to stun your opponent at level 1 and prevent any of the on-reverse combos. And if you get to reuse any of your Akatsuki clone Hatagis, that's even better, among other things. And it also helps at level 3 to prevent the on-reverse combos. And then you have, at level 2, the anti-damage Shinobu. And then at level 3, if you take any damage, you have the clown glasses to keep putting climaxes back. And you have the level 3 Shinobu that's on the list that would also heal, and it also cancel burn on top of that.
So you mean Meoi?
Meoi, yeah. So, and if you use that, it's like, all right, if I ever took any damage, I just heal back off. and then I still can keep generate advantage and damage, and you're trying to out-sustain your opponent. And it was a really defensive build, so I mean, I could see it being kind of oppressive, and other decks had trouble playing against it. I mean, it's a better version of Index going up against Two Love Ruin. Two Love Ruin really wasn't doing as well as they could have. I mean, because Monogatari had, what was it, like 9% representation and 19% of the tops, which is just incredible.
Yeah, wow. I probably personally in my build would have picked the Mayoi card because I was like running slightly more aggressive stuff, and I do think that Kaiki would be interesting in the build I was running too. I wanted to fit him in, but I didn't have the space when I was trying to build my deck originally.
Well, yeah, Kaiki's really relevant though in this format. I think because since money, there's people who, if I feel like with most sets, if they have a money counter or whatever, they want to run it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Or kind of anything that does a sack counter. I mean, it'll help you guarantee damage, or anything like a compass as well, something like that.
Well, my opinion overall, like I don't think, for me it was just surprising because like I see Monogatari as like it's a pretty like balanced fair set. Like it's not like too like overwhelming or oppressive, and like I see a lot of other sets like Charlotte. They have a pretty defensive yellow build with the Yusa Misa and stuff, and they can like heal. Like it's a, well, I don't know. I just think Monogatari just didn't really deserve the hit.
I mean, it works on the same principle. I mean, they were very similar decks, except Monogatari has more utility, and plus they can drop that anti-damage Shinobu at level 2. So they get started even earlier, whereas the Charlotte deck, they just danced around you at level 3. And I mean, they did a good job with it, because they were using that against Two Lover and stuff to keep themselves really low in damage, and against other stuff too. But Monogatari is just a little bit better version of that, and a level 1 game is really, really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with that build. That build was like a perfect matchup for beating Deliveroo.
I think, what do you guys think, if you play Monogatari, which one would you rather pick? I mean, if you were going to run these cards. I feel like, for me, I think the 0/0 Shinobu is more, I feel like it has more uses. Like
I think it just depends on your build and your playstyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, if you play a defensive build, you may want to go more with the level 0. I play like a more good stuff build, and so for me, I don't need the defense. I go for more pressure. So I'd rather go with the snail instead. I mean, because otherwise I'm running the Bakamano Hitagi healer, and I don't want to go back to that.
I really dislike that card. Do you think that Japan will run that and builds that run the 0/0 Shinobu?
I have no doubt.
I don't know. Is that the 0/0 Shinobu? Not the, what card?
What, the Hitagi?
Yeah, which card was it?
It's it like blows up a what?
That's like a main deck card in Japan. Everybody already runs that.
It's like
Everybody
a
already
healer,
runs that
and
Japan.
then if reverses a level 2 or higher, you can pop a level 1 or lower.
If it reverses, though, it's like
people main deck that.
Yeah.
People started main decking that really heavily for Tularu.
I mean, it
They wanted to get rid of
against
they wanted to get
Tularu.
rid of the hand encore.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, it also blows
That's
up that
why it was being
1/1
ran
as
as like a
well.
Yeah.
Because that 1/1 allowed the early drop of Yami. So if you pop that, that shuts all that down.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I guess we'll just move on to probably I think the most expected thing that hit the list is Cinderella Girls. We have the unique Akatsuki effect where you don't even have to discard a card, and you just it helps you grab a climax. You also have I hear myself echoing. You hear the Ricky clone, and then you have probably one of the best level 3 restanders in the game, I think. The Ren.
Hands down, I can almost agree to that.
But yeah, what's your guys' overall thoughts on the Cinderella Girls restrictions?
To be honest, I don't even think they really should have hit it. The Miria is not that much of a hit to us. Like that's whatever. The Kumi does hurt. Mouse really does hurt. The Rin, I don't think I really. I mean, it's practically free though, so.
I feel like, well, the TP build is going to be fine regardless because people are going to obviously run the level 3.
I mean,
Rin.
yeah.
Because you still have access to the blue Akatsuki, the Rin Akatsuki.
Yeah. The Kumi though, that kind of affected a bit.
Yeah. Well, I just don't like how they hit the Ricky clone because I feel like a lot of decks use the Ricky clone for CG.
Yeah.
If anything, they should have just hit the Kume and the Rin. I would have been fine with that, just those two. But yeah, Kume is really strong though. I'm glad that they chose to hit it.
Well, yeah, it's almost like a free climax.
Yeah.
Yep.
Surprisingly, when I checked all these cards, their prices didn't really change. Like, I don't think I saw any price changes from the past.
Oh, Misakura went up a lot.
Oh, it did? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's also sold out, apparently.
Yeah, I think the cheapest one I've seen right now is 52 for the foil.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, well, I got mine for like 15 to 20 a piece.
Well, that's good at least.
So I guess we're just going to an overall discussion of the restriction list. Do you guys think there should have been any other additions or changes?
Marco back to 4. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just joking.
Please.
No, we're not doing
Please.
that.
Joking. The Monomarca though, maybe.
Nisekoi had their time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never gonna come back. That's
Oh,
true.
Misakura does not need to cry about anything. I've been under a restriction list for 5 years. No, thank you.
Maybe we get Marco back in 5 years.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe if they like keep making more broken stuff. I mean,
It seems like, I don't know,
or if they
honestly. Oh, sorry.
you're good. You're good.
Honestly, in my opinion, it seems like they're kind of backtracking a little, and a lot of the stuff that's coming out in more recent sets seems a little dulled down compared to like what's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think yeah, backtracking is kind of the best thing that they should do because it's like, because for the past I would say time frame at least a year or so, like they've been releasing way too much overwhelming stuff.
Yeah.
It's like back to back, like making silly stuff. It's like, yeah, you need to like kind of chill it down a bit. Like let's not go down the Yu-Gi-Oh route where we keep making another broken archetype every year.
I mean,
But that's besides the point. But yeah, so like what was I gonna say? But yeah, like I guess as far as like the list goes, I'm surprised the list overall is pretty low. I guess pretty small.
Mm.
Not that much stuff got hit. I mean, I was expecting a bigger list.
Surprised, like, well, I was gonna say.
I'm surprised actually.
I was gonna say I'm kind of surprised over one of the restrictions that's still there because they started releasing all these the heel loop stuff, and yet I'm looking at one and the Takapo still has the restriction of the choose one or two between the xylophone tarot reading and the other one being the Anzu and swimsuits. I think that was Anzu, but I remember they still have that choose one or two, and it's such an old lit thing, and it's really not something you would try to play anymore because it's like, okay, the event, the xylophone one is like heal 2, and it sends us up to memory, and the other one is this card which it has an alarm effect. If you're level 2 or higher, then you can send that at the end phase to your waiting room if it's still there at the top of your clock. So I mean, you don't really want to play the alarm. I mean, the alarm's okay. It was anyways, but I mean, if you're playing that, you're not playing other things. And I think blue in general for Takapo has kind of gone down quite a bit. Because, I mean, playing with the Creek is no longer banned, unless you're playing in Standard. So, it's kind of like, that's such an old hit there, and that should probably have come off too. And I'm still surprised it's on there, considering when's the last time Takapo's done something? Like 2014, even further back than Railgun. So, and then again, this guy has been on there for a while too. So, who knows?
Yeah.
wasn't the Xylophone event like it has like a really strong like heal though? It doesn't like does it go to I forgot if it goes to the waiting room or if it goes to the hand or something.
Wait, was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beanley.
No,
Or-
that's I was just saying that. I forgot.
It heals you and goes to memory after that.
Wasn't DeCapo getting something new, or was that something else?
No,
Huh?
What were you saying? Sorry.
Did he just cut off?
Uh-oh.
Jeez, what a guy.
No, he's still on here. He's still in the group.
Oh, no.
Jeez, what a guy.
wait, can you say that again? I think I lost you on that one.
Oh, what was it DeCapo that was getting the new stuff, or was that just something else?
I think they are getting they are getting some type of new cards.
Because, I mean, that would kind of explain why they would refrain currently.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised to see Telever not get hit. I was like thinking,
I
like,
think
you
it's
know, it was a
kind of
possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I was
I mean, they're
kind
going
of
to come out with a new set here, and I'm really curious what they're going to come out with.
Wait, what were you saying, Frank? And Frank, you're surprised that Tularu didn't get hit?
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't get hit because it's just like I was like thinking that it was a. I was thinking they were a potential candidate of getting hit, but yeah, I guess not. Which I mean isn't a problem. I mean.
I mean, it's like that deck died down really fast. No,
I think
you know,
people... Huh?
It's not topping like it used to, and that's because like most people don't play it anymore. People have just moved on.
Really? I feel like people would
The reason it topped so much is just because so many people played it. It's not really.
Yeah,
good
that's true.
It's consistent. Oh, don't get me wrong. It's got a really great endgame. It just doesn't change the fact that nobody's playing it now.
Well, it's being played. It's just getting bodied by Index and Monogatari pretty bad. And plus, Cinderella Girls is really good.
So they just
Yeah.
have like some bad matchups.
Well, I think people
oh, yeah.
in general.
Index and Monogatari are really bad matchups.
I think people in general are just more like aware and smart how they like play against Tularu. Like,
Yeah, it could have been one of those things where like it was so huge to the point where people like took like legit amount of time to like counter it. So they just like figured out strategies how to play around it, and they just don't have a problem with it. I mean, that could be one.
People like now counter Contai.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like.
oh yeah, but the Xylophone effect was it goes into memory and you heal to the waiting room. Choose up to 2 cards from your claw. But I think it's because it's strong because like it's anywhere. I mean, anywhere in your claw.
Well, I'm saying the thing that was hit is the combo between that and the level 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, all right, I'll play the level 2 event anyways. I don't care about the level 1. It's that swimsuits one right there. And all right, I guess the only play would be if you have it in your hand, you clock, and if you have the heal 2, no, you have to have it in your clock. There's a potential heal 3 in a turn, but it has to be pretty far down your clock, and you heal 2 to make it work. And I guess Busher at the time was trying to get rid of all those heal loop stuff, but I mean, you're talking about a pretty niche situation.
Well, also,
and that works in one particular build.
Yeah.
I don't think most builds want to play that combo anymore.
well, also like if you just have this in your hand, you can just clock it and then you just draw 2, and at the end of your turn you heal.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you played other blue stuff, but that's okay. But the only thing is, most of blue's good cards are events. The actual characters themselves aren't really that impressive past level 1.
Yeah.
I think the only decks that really cared about, the only versions of the deck that cared was if you play like a dual style build, because they would definitely, because the end game is essentially just playing Xylophone. And if you just happen to have that level 1 as well, that's nice, because they also playing with the Creek. And in combination with a Brainstorm, it's just free plussing, and also deck filtering. So that's really nice. And they also play an event which it gives 2 characters, and if you have 2 characters in the front row only, 2,500 power. for one stock. So I mean, they had some really good stuff, but you have to play mainly a very specific build. Because the other build is Student Council one. They don't really play blue that much. They prefer going for a much stronger end game. Magic is something different. They're more yellow. Then you got other really weird stuff, but those are the main ones, anyways.
Yeah, I know Da Capo I think has like a lot of traits in their sets, in their the set itself.
Yeah, pretty much all the different colors have a mix of traits. There's not a whole lot of predominant ones. Oh yeah, there's also newspaper. I forgot about that. But that's also pretty good too.
Well, I do want to say, I saw what some people are saying about like Kantai. People are suggesting that like again, like maybe Akagi shouldn't have to be on the list anymore. Because recently with KC3, there's like so many good utility cards, and some people are thinking that like, well, a lot of builds what I've seen, like they don't even run any of the pick 3 cards just because like the choice, I mean the whole deck building is so compact. So people are suggesting that keep Hatsukaze Hibiki on the restriction list, but maybe Akagi isn't as like broken as it is anymore. Because eating your stock is still like a bad thing.
Yeah, but it's still free, and it just does it on Climax Combo, which is a gold bar, which is the reason why it's still on the list, and probably will always stay on the list.
Yeah, and plus they did get that, like, I forgot which Fleet Girl it is, but there you have that 0-0 that they're able to get Climaxes back, so it makes the Kagi combo even more consistent.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the,
there's
oh, yeah,
there's
the
no point in
Jinsu.
bringing-
Yeah, and especially Shimakaze, like, you know, like it guarantees that you would easily get that combo to search out the cards you need, and but yeah, I could see it maybe happening like, as a possibility, but I could see that. I mean, it's a possible idea.
Because I think like in any like if people playing JP KC, like most people pick the anti-heal anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it also gives you a free plus.
Yeah, and like, anti-heal is more damaging I think than anti-salvage.
Yeah, because I mean, heal works in most matchups. Salvage works a lot less often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say maybe this would be slightly relevant. I don't. Was this just a rumor that the whole like talk about how English might get a ban list? Was that a rumor?
It's always been
yeah,
I
I thought that someone said that recently.
Well, I was reading through the thread, and then there was like some prominent like pro English players were saying that they've never heard of that. Like there haven't been any talks about it. So
okay, so it was.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though, because the rumor's like, oh, well, I heard some judges at this regional say there's going to be an English ban list, and Kanta is going to be there. I'm like, okay, well, I have this cousin who works for Bushiroad. There you go.
Yeah, the judges like literally don't know anything. They're just like they're practically just volunteers when it comes to like Bushiroad. They're not even. I could judge.
And the thing is, like Bushiroad is like they treat the like people who are like volunteering as like shit, like from what I've read or whatever. Because there is no judging. There is no judge program for Schwarz.
There isn't. No, and when I was at regionals this weekend, it was just like it was funny because we had regionals, and during the tournaments they said approximately 8 to 7 rounds, 7 to 8 rounds, and then they cut it like a round or 2 short. I know Vanguard cut short 2 rounds, and a lot of players got cut off because of their tiebreakers, and a lot of the judges were really pissed off of how that was dealt with. Also, the fact that they made Vanguard a best of 2 when it comes to top 8 now, so a lot of judges didn't expect that, and they weren't like ready for that, so a lot of them were really mad about that as well.
Best of 2? How do you even do that?
Also, they were passing out surveys to Weiss players too as well, asking if it was going to be like if they wanted to have a best of 1 Swiss or best of 3 and stuff like that, or best of 5. I think was one of the questions. I don't know, I can't remember, but I know there was best of 3. I was like, yeah, this is bullcrap. Best of 1 Swiss. Thank you.
Best of 5? You'd be there for fucking ever.
I don't know.
And I think even if like you wanted to be like you wanted to volunteer as a Weiss judge or whatever, you actually have to like I think you have to know some Vanguard stuff before or whatever, because mostly I feel like Bushiroad is Like
Oh
most,
yeah, and like the judge, the judges literally were judging everything. They were judging Vanguard, Buddy Fight, and Weiss. They were literally just walking all around. Just, I feel like some of them didn't even know when I. There was a question about. Somebody asked about the compass refresh and how compass goes in as your refresh, and the judge was like, "No, that doesn't go." And then I had to like talk to him. I had to get who was it? I got to get. I can't remember who I got. Some other kid who was playing Contai, and then we got another judge who actually knew it, and yeah, they like turned it over. It was funny because like the judge didn't know about the refresh compass or like a
the
thing.
trick, yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
But to be fair, I mean, the judge test for Bushiroad, you have to know all of Bushiroad's games. So, I mean, you can't just know just Weiss. You have to know Buddy Fight and Vanguard. So, you have to cover all three.
I see.
And be able to show that you know all three.
Yeah, that's why I'd be scared. I wouldn't know Buddy Fight to save my life.
Yeah.
And like I saw a comment, like someone was saying like they were like a judge or whatever, and like the way they get compensated is like they get like Amazon credit or whatever.
They get other. No, they don't get Amazon credit. They get like random goodies, and that's it.
Wow.
You don't really get anything. Trust me, you don't.
Jeez.
Not even like a judge promo.
Nope, there's no such thing as a judge promo.
Yeah.
That'd be funny though. It's like a picture of Shiyoko just judging.
That'd be cute.
Do you think overall with this whole restriction changes, do you see like any like the meta? I guess like the popular decks are gonna be different or whatever, or more diverse. I don't know.
I think it's just gonna
it's still gonna be Monogatari.
Yeah. Like Cinderella Girls may just change to a different popular build instead. Monogatari, I don't think is going to change that much, except for like a level 3 change. And I mean, unless it's like it comes down enough in power to where 2 level starts coming back into play again, and then maybe we might get a hit that time on it. Because I swear they definitely do need a hit though.
Yeah.
But like a choose one of 2 or choose one of 3.
I think.
I mean, I don't think anything needs to be
Like
hit.
they just need to do a choose of 2, which would be like the brainstorming and econ, and maybe the anti-salvage.
Well, I was thinking like if you did like the Akatsuki thing in the back row, the level 1 that can early drop the Yami and Yami. I mean, you could pick one of those 3 or just do a choose 2 between
But
some
like
of them.
nobody runs the level 1 Yami changer.
No, I was thinking.
Well, just think, anyways. I mean, they did choose it to early drop it too. In some of the builds.
I think they need it like. I kind of agree with Enrique. I think they need to hit more on the utility, like the Mekon Brainstormer or the 1/1 hand-on 4, or the anti-salvage. I feel like Tularu players should still be able to play Yami, just like hurt their utility more.
Yeah, make them actually work for their end game.
Yeah.
And when I can just like, oh, here's Mekon, let me grab my Yami at level 3 and that's in my clock.
Or if you're like me, just put their climax to 1.
Oh God.
Okay.
Jeez, gamer.
You guys have anything else to say about the whole recent event?
What else? I'm trying to think of what else could actually get hit.
I don't know. Whatever.
I had a list, and I
think we covered the pretty big ones. I mean, the only other really big one would be the Little Buster's Twins deck, but that's not being played very much right now. But it is a really good deck.
Yeah. What was the card? I'm trying to remember the card. To save my life, but I can't remember. Shoot. God dang it. I feel like I'm gonna remember as soon as this video is
Or
over.
Milk
Maybe everybody goes to jail.
Hey, Milkos was topping a lot.
What was it? I can't remember to save my life.
How much longer is it going to take?
There's a few more. There's a few more.
Okay.
No, I can't really think of anything. That sucks. I'll probably regret it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll just end it here. I guess I kind of like how Weiss is the right. I mean, there is like it's not like it's kind of like stagnant right now. I feel like with the newer sets, hopefully, it'll like bring more spark to the game.
Yeah.
Because we are
hopefully, because now it's not like kill or kill.
We are getting
real spark.
JP is
getting Star
good
Wars
sets. Yeah, we're getting ReZero Star Wars. and Kiss Navier.
Love Live. Love
And
Live.
yeah, and Love Live. So those are, I have high hopes.
Kiss Niver too.
Yeah, and I have high hopes for those sets.
Hey, it's been exactly 1 year since Two Love Roommate Kids Night will be really OP.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, we
also.
should be getting stuff soon for it, like reveal.
I think
Yeah.
it's usually the fall sets that have like the really the interesting parts.
They could always go out with a bang with ReZero
Yeah.
if they decide to do that December.
Watch ReZero be like
Like-
super good in Chaos and Weiss and like dominate both teams.
Oh my goodness! Well, I mean, they're gonna be like definitely the most expensive things in there. I mean, literally just because of REM.
Yeah, very true.
Why don't you be like $500 the SP?
Honestly, I'm surprised.
Thank you guys for
Honestly.
watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to Waifu Wars.